Hi everybody, Dan Oman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets.
Hi everyone, I'm David Aragona, and we're taking a look at the feature race at Aqueduct on Saturday. It is the Grade 3 Toboggan, going 7 furlongs on the main track for the older sprinters. It's an interesting field that features an up-and-comer that I think some people are pretty excited about. The lightly raced 4-year-old Happy Medium will be getting his first stakes test after easily beating Allowance Company his last couple of starts. He's looking for his 4th victory in a row. And let's throw up the field for this race, and you'll see among the 7 runners, Happy Medium I have listed as the heavy morning line favorite at 3-5. It should be noted, though, I probably pegged the odds even lower, maybe 2-5 or 1-5 on this race not even being run on Saturday, as if you have not been following the weather forecast in New York, there is plenty of snow predicted for Saturday in the New York City area. I think somewhere around 2 to 4 inches as of the time that I'm recording this on Thursday, and temperatures in the low 20s with a wind chill of about 5 degrees. So it seems unlikely that this Aqueduct card gets run on Saturday, but the forecast can always change in the next 48 hours, so we'll see how that develops. But if this race does go ahead, and we're going to talk about it like it will go ahead, I would imagine that Happy Medium will be a heavy favorite. He does face a main pace rival, the number 4 Chateau, who I've got listed at 7-2 on the morning line. Some others in this race figured to be much bigger prices. But those 2 horses that I mentioned as the favorite and the morning line second choice, both speed types. So let's move on to the Timeform US pace projector. And as you can see, no surprise to see the number 4 Chateau listed on the early lead. He is always shown first on the pace projector. He is just a naturally fast horse, but interesting that Happy Medium is shown that close to him, basically alongside from the inside. And this is going to be a fascinating situation to see develop on the racetrack, how these 2 hook up, or whether they do hook up in the early going, because Chateau is drawn to the outside and he just has one way to go. Let's take a look at Happy Medium's last race. He is the heavy favorite in this race, and I think justifiably so, off this last performance when he won on December 18th, beating Allowance Company, and he does so very impressively. Comes into the stretch with the lead. You could see Manny Franco just kind of shaking the whip at him, and he's going to run away from this field in the final furlong. That horse with the white face that's finishing second to him, what do you think now? He came back off this runner-up finish to absolutely decimate an Allowance field in his next start, winning by 10 lengths with a 104 buyer and a 115 Timeform US speed figure. So the runner-up certainly validated the performance of Happy Medium. And as you can see from the Timeform US PPs, this horse has posted some pretty big Timeform numbers in his 4 career starts, getting a 122 off the layoff when he broke his maiden 3 starts back, winning by 9 lengths. Obviously, he's had a pretty slow pace 2 back when he won that Allowance race as the 1-5 favorite in November. And then last time, that race that we just showed, when he earned that 125 Timeform US speed figure, his best yet, beating that pretty good horse. What do you think now by 7 lengths? He is stepping way up in class to face Stakes Company for the first time, but this son of Run Happy going out for Michelle Nevin, I think he is pretty good, and we'll see if he faces a lot of pressure from Chateau on the front end, but I would imagine it's going to be pretty tough for these stakes foes to beat this up-and-comer if he comes with his A effort in the Toboggan on Saturday. Let's move on to his main pace rival, Chateau, and take a look at his last race when he won the Gravesend in gate-to-wire fashion, the way that he does it, leading right from the start all the way to the finish line. He is able to hold on in this race, but I think that's primarily due to 2 factors. One is the fact that, as you could see when he came into the stretch, Kendrick Carmouche had this horse well off the inside path. This day, December 19th at Aqueduct, was one where you did not want to be on the inside. And you could see just late in the race, Chateau drifts back down towards the rail, but he had been well off the rail for much of the race. And that's the kind of trip that you wanted to get in that Gravesend on December 19th. And also check out the Timeform US pace figures for that last race. You see a couple of them are color-coded in blue, indicating that Chateau actually got away with a pretty slow pace in that race. He did come home pretty fast, got a 115 Timeform US speed figure off a 112 final time number that had to be upgraded a little bit because he went so slowly in the opening stages. But he is a horse that does have a lot more early speed than he showed last time, and I think that was reflected in his position on the pace projector. He always makes the front end in the first call of his races. I mean, I'm just showing the last 5 here, but you could scroll all the way down his PPs. He is always in front at that first call, so it'll be interesting to see how aggressively Happy Medium is ridden from the post inside of him to try to pressure this horse. The big hurdle for Chateau is going to be the 7 furlong distance. He's really a 6 furlong specialist, and he's tried 7 furlongs a few times in the past, or 6.5 or 7, I should say. And that extra half to a furlong, it's always a real thorn in his side. So I think he's going to be hard pressed to hold on going this distance. Another horse coming out of the Gravesend that I think is worth discussing is the number 1 Drafted. And in his time formula SPPs, I think the thing to note is all of that blue scattered down the page in his running lines, just blue color-coded pace figures in race after race. This horse has encountered many slow paces recently. In his last 3 starts, 3 back, he was behind Wonderware Craig, is a horse that's just superior to him anyway, but that was a slow-paced race he was unable to close into. Same thing 2 back, when he actually made a pretty good run to be second behind Cost Basis, who was prominent throughout. And then last time, the race we just showed, the Gravesend, dominated on the front end by Chateau through slow fractions, and Drafted had trouble closing into that pace. This time, Drafted is finally supposed to get that fast pace that he's been looking for his last few starts. I don't know if he's good enough to beat a horse like Happy Medium or some others in here, but I do think he's going to outrun his odds. I've got him pegged to 12-1 in the morning line. Just the kind of horse that could get somewhat overlooked because he's made a number of starts in this country now. I think he's lost all 8 of them in a row, but he just hasn't had the ideal pace situations in any of those races. And I think overall his form is better than it looks. So I think Drafted is going to get a piece of this and probably close for second or third, the kind of horse I might want to key underneath in exotics. One more horse that we should talk about before I throw out my picks is the number 3 Hopeful Treasure. And let's take a look at his last victory in the fall highweight at Aqueduct. This was a grade 3 event, and he's coming into the stretch in second place, actually chasing down a horse that we just talked about, Chateau, in his usual place on the lead. But Chateau is going to get pretty tired at the end of this race, and that's going to allow Hopeful Treasure to wear him down coming to the wire. And actually, the horse that's closing widest of all on the outside, Green Light Go, is just going to miss by a head to Hopeful Treasure. And Green Light Go, that runner-up in this race, comes right back out of this performance to win an allowance race in his next start by 9 lengths with a speed figure, time formula speed figure in the 120s. So that really flatters the performance that Hopeful Treasure put forth in the fall highweight last time. This horse's trader, Michael Catalano, has shipped a few horses to Aqueduct recently. I think he's won with his last 3 starters that he shipped into the NYRA circuit. So some things to like about Hopeful Treasure, but he's obviously going to have to run the race of his life if Happy Medium shows up with one of his good efforts. So let's throw out my picks for this race. I am not trying to beat Happy Medium. I think this son of Run Happy is very talented, and I think this is the right kind of spot for him to make his stakes debut. I'll be interested to see how the trip plays out if he takes back off Chateau or takes to that foe from the start, but that is the horse that he has to beat in this race. I'm a little concerned about the 7 furlongs for Chateau, so I got him in 4th in my picks, and I did put that horse that I'm interested in getting a piece, the number 1 Drafted, as my second pick. He is the horse that I would want to key underneath Happy Medium in the exotics in this Toboggan on Saturday at Aqueduct. Good luck if you're playing this weekend.